It's all good. Okay.
Oh, so I got like my computer down here, the phone up there. We'll see how it all goes. Thanks everybody for your patience.
This is pretty good. I wish you were a little bigger on the screen, but we're good.
Basically, everybody does. Wish that.
I know, exactly. Okay, so do you need a minute? A breath before you introduce yourself and tell our live audience who you are and what you do.
Sure, I could say that. And before that too, right before we came on live, Carly, I was like, oh, I should have taken a bathroom break because it took us like 35 minutes to figure this out. And I was like,
oh yeah, that just reminded me. I probably am running out of battery too. We're funny today.
We're gonna shift this power all over the place, people.
Yeah, we are.
Yes. So who I am Tambra Estella, financial advisor, and as a financial advisor, I typically work with busy career-driven moms. They have a lot going on throughout their day. They're probably managing their schedules, their family schedules, their career, focusing on everything. So they may find themselves to be pulled in many directions. They want a peace of mind of their financial well-being to ensure that they're placing monies and really putting all the puzzle pieces together to really, I'm sorry, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
To really benefit, to make sure their wealth is working for them without sacrificing time with their family or their children's future. So I walk them through thanks. Yeah, I walk them through my from praise to clarity process.
I love money. Money to me it gets me excited because it's almost like talking about fear and money, right? Like you can mine it for so much gold, depending on how you feel about it and what triggers that you have about it. So on that note, can you tell our viewers, I don't know, maybe give them any suggestions or any thoughts where if they're interested in shifting their thoughts, feelings about money and their financial situation, give them feel more freedom. And like, where would someone start if they're like, oh, that makes sense. What you just said sounded really great.
Resonating. So to begin from crazed to clarity, what I would suggest is to sit down, take a deep breath, put your hands on your lap, close your eyes, and with your eyes closed or open, whichever you prefer, just be calm for that moment and honor the moment and just be very honor yourself and the commitment that you actually want to take the step to gain the clarity. So I think that's really important. Without writing anything down or without downloading an app or looking at any numbers, saying it out loud is one thing, but actually to set aside the time and to sit down and to begin the process. If you're scared of it, because you were just talking about maybe being potentially scared or not really honing in on it or not being focused, or a lot of times when I work with clients, I hear that they don't bring up the conversation often together as a couple. I see my hands all over the place. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm upside down. I have no idea what's going on. So, saying it out loud and say that you want to implement the strategies is one thing, but building the plan and sitting down and starting the process is one thing. So I think that's the first step, is to just sit down, take a deep breath, put your hands on your lap, and recognize that you are taking the moment to start it.
I love that. I love that you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people assume that you're just going to start with all these overwhelming numbers and thoughts about bank accounts. So I know it is so important to just feel that energy and kind of tap into that space that really wants to gather more information about their finances and to feel more powerful about it.
Yeah. Very cool. Thanks. Okay. I dig it too.
So say they've done that. Now what?
Yeah. So let's get a good hold of our net worth. So I would start there. I would start with gathering information so that you have a clear understanding of what your assets are. Your assets, if one does not know, is what you own. So it's the value of things that you own. It would be the value of the car, the value of the home, the value of antiques, the value of the hot cash that you have in the bank account, and the difference between your assets and your liabilities. And if you don't know, your liabilities are what you owe. So it would be the mortgage, loans, other outstanding notes would go in there. So by taking those assets, subtracting those liabilities will give you your net worth. So it really gives you a good snapshot of what's going on right now. So before we catapult forward with any steps or strategies or anything, I would say to really sit down, take the time to get that snapshot of where you are right now, so you have that strong foundation and clarity, really, so that you understand where you're going. And that net worth is a good place to always start and to revisit, because if those numbers are moving, the net worth is moving up and down also. It's a good thing to keep track of. It's a good thing to keep track of. Is your net worth decreasing week after week, month after month? Is it increasing? And how do you feel about that activity? So I think it's a good starting point.
So
if that makes sense.
Excuse me. What I'm hearing you say is the next step after this tapping in is to notice and be aware of what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And without getting, obviously you're not going to be able to right now give us all these nitty gritty details about budgets and blah, 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 but you can say, okay, set an intention and then start to become aware of anything that's coming in and out.
Yeah. The bad B word, budget, may be very, is important. Like, it may be scary to talk about or just want to ignore it altogether. And it's good to track the cash flow. It's good to set intentions of how much you believe dollar signs should be allocated to particular things in your life. But for a starting point, to take that snapshot as to what's going on right now, it's also a great moment to sit down and be grateful for what you got going on.
I love that.
So it could be, I don't know for you, but sometimes it's tough for me, especially on Friday nights. When I come home on Friday nights, it's a disaster. The house is a disaster. It's like throughout the week, it's piled up. I've actually made it my thing now to not open our mail until Friday, so I apologize for anybody who's waiting for a reply. But because things just start to pile up on Friday night. And we're closing down the week, and we're trying to think about, did we accomplish what we were supposed to accomplish? Did we hit the appointments? And I think that's just a basic conversation that moms have and that families have. It's just like getting all the kids in the right direction and getting things going. So by Friday, my house is a disaster. So it may be easy for my husband and I to be like, oh, it's one more thing to do. Like, it's one more thing to do. And we say that over and over again. Sorry, that's my dog and the door.
I didn't even hear it.
The doorbell. Can you leave it at the door? Thanks. Good job, Holly. Sorry.
That's okay.
Real life, peeps.
Yeah,
real life.
Exactly.
Real life. Good girl. Sorry, everybody. So I was saying that sometimes we get wrapped up in the hustle and bustle and things moving in different directions, just because it's real life, just because we have families, and as women, we may be managing everything going on. Especially for me, on Friday nights is my day that I feel that I find myself to be less grateful, less understanding of what we've actually built and what we actually have. Like our nice warm home, my phenomenal dog, who I refer to as my firstborn. Like, we're very lucky to have this family unit. There she goes again.
Yes, because that it's easy to just break down and not think of the positive, you're saying, right? Not to
it is. So when you're starting with the net worth, you get the clear indication of what you have, what you got going on, what you work towards, what you hold, what you possess, and it gives a great opportunity to take a moment to reflect on that and to understand what you have as an asset, and hopefully be grateful for that. Yeah.
I love that. Okay,
hey,
well,
thanks.
I think we should. I love that we are leaving our guests with that. Do you have anything, like a quick sentence or two about like the next move if they're like, okay, this is great, but now what?
Oh, after they sit down and take a look at that. Yeah, I think the next step would be to understand why money is important to them.
Okay.
What I hear time and time again with working with clients is, what does so-and-so do? What does somebody else in my situation do? What does, I get a lot of questions from others about what is somebody else doing. And then last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I heard a great question by a client saying, like, what's the average? What's the norm? And as money flows through your home, if you will, it's really a clear reflection and indication of what is important to you and what you're doing throughout your life. I feel like my hands are in the way, because we're spending money on things that we want and things that we love and things that we, in theory, find to be very important. Mm-hmm. So that's what money should. It should be doing wonderful things for you and wonderful things in your life, and I really, really hope it is. So I think the next step would be to sit down and understand why money is important to you, mm-hmm. and really understand what's the big flipping deal. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, maybe somebody doesn't have to go to work to make a paycheck. Maybe, that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe you don't have to put money towards something that you don't want to be putting money towards. My point is that it should be really where the money is flowing to and through your home should really hone in on and be special to you and be why money is important to you.
You get clear on what you want and then be mindful about it.
Yeah. So why it's important to you. So because why money is important to me is probably much different as to why money is important to you, as it should be for each individual person. Mm-hmm. So budgets are great. Spreadsheets are awesome. And we have these awesome budgeting apps and everything out there. And I can talk all day about creating cash flow reports because they're pretty cool too. But at the end of the day, it's not a norm. It's not a normal. You're not an average. You're not a number. You are spending the time with those that you love, and therefore you're spending your money with doing those activities with those that you really enjoy being with. So why money is important to you is very, very important. And I would say start there and then back from there. Why money is important to you is where you can
your why,
start and your why, and then you can back from there. So the goals or steps as to how to get there.
That's so great. Things shifted in my life, I believe, when I started looking at money as an energy and started thinking about it as almost like a friend, like being respectful to that friend, being mindful of that friend. And then my whole perspective on money shifted once I reframed my relationship with it and that little bit. So I love everything that you're saying.
I think it's fantastic. I think it is energy. It's been a couple of years since I read it, but You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's a great book. Jen Sincero, right? Did I say her last name correctly? Jennifer?
Yeah, I read
Jennifer
that book
Sincero
2 or 3 times already. I love that book.
That is pretty amazing. And what she says in there is so, it's pretty direct. It's pretty fantastic how direct she is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I couldn't see myself saying that to somebody, but thank goodness she said it to me in the book. So it's a pretty,
and she's funny.
It's a pretty good book. She's freaking hilarious.
I'll link to that below. So
that's a good idea because she does talk about what you had said about money being energy.
Yeah, I love it.
And we talk about that often as a business owner too, and how the foundation and strategies and building the strategies are very important, but the understanding of how that money is flowing and why is really the root of it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for your time. What time is it? You're almost hour this morning with me as we try to get this done.
Time's fine.
Oh gosh. My
right.
wet hair.
Thank you, Tamara. And I will link the book that you referenced down below. And if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to message below, and then we can answer them.
That sounds awesome. Tamara, thanks, everybody.
Okay. Bye.
Have a fun Friday.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Bye.